Welcome back to another episode of Warren Cali. In this episode, I will detail the story of Big Spaceghost from Rollin 90 Crip. Spaceghost will be born Travis Robinson and grow up in South Central Los Angeles. Originally, the Rollin 90 Crips were broke up into two different gangs, the 9-0 Hoovers and the 9-0 Gangsters. With the 9-0 Hoovers leaving the Hoover car, these two separate gangs will later click up together by the mid-80s and become the Rollin 90 Neighborhood Crips. The 9-0s will become a dangerous gang in the streets with the two coming together. They would take on a lot of rivals like the Hoovers, the A-Tray Gangsters, the 9-9 Mafias, and several blood gangs like the Inglewood Families and the Brims among many others. Spaceghost would become an early member of the 9-0 Hoovers before they ever became Rollin 90s. He would get the name Spaceghost from fellow 9-0 Big Miz. Spaceghost was always a natural fighter and boxed with the 9-0s a lot to sharpen up his skills. Going in and out of jail in his teenage years, Spaceghost will receive boxing lessons in camp, which took his fighting skills to another level. Once Spaceghost got out of camp, he will build his name putting hands on numerous people, stating he wanted to have some of the best hands in LA. Spaceghost will become a knockout artist in the streets and even in jail, always testing enemies and trying to fight anybody in his way. With his reputation, most feared him and turned his fade down. And if you didn't, your ass was probably gonna get knocked out.
Korean lady that owned the t-shirt store in the Slauson Swap Meet, if she remember me, this black image, she'll say what she said then. Oh, you fight very well. You fight very well. Who is you? Oh, your arms are very big. Oh, neighborhood 90 Crip.
Outside of fighting, Spaceghost was well known for putting in work in the streets on his enemies as well. He would even allegedly take out a few Long Beach Crips for personal beef. Outside of the streets, Spaceghost was known as a prolific Crip dancer, known for being a pop locker and an epic Crip walker. Spaceghost will become known to the world, with him being in various documentaries, like The City of 187, and he will also be in CJ Mack documentary, Sea Walk is a Way of Life. Spaceghost will be featured in CJ Mack's documentary, talking about his cripping, and also doing a lot of Crip walking. But Spaceghost's downfall in life wouldn't be the streets, it would be a woman. Spaceghost dated a woman named Alicia for over 20 years, and they would have 2 kids together. They would have a toxic relationship, which was on and off for several years. Alicia would start to date another man, and would even move in with him. She would also get his name tatted. This would make Spaceghost mad. He would tell Alicia if he couldn't have her, nobody could. Alicia wouldn't take Spaceghost for real, and would only have contact with him through their daughter. On September 26, 2012, Spaceghost would contact Alicia and promise to give her $500 for their son's birthday. They both would agree to meet up later that day. Spaceghost would later meet up with a few friends that same day. He would show the Facebook post of Alicia and her new man. This would send Spaceghost into a rage. Spaceghost and Alicia later met in an alley on Slauson. Spaceghost got there by the bus and Alicia drove in her car. Once they got together, they would do their thing and later got into an argument after they was finished about her new man. Then an altercation ensued. Spaceghost then stabbed Alicia 59 times and killed her. He then put her body in the back seat and drove away. He would later leave her body in a car at the intersection of Main Street. All Alicia friends and family knew Spaceghost was set to meet Alicia that day, so he was the prime suspect. But with no clear evidence, he would be let go. Spaceghost was known for a domestic violence background. He was known for beating women that he was dating. Spaceghost's friend Damon would have photos in his phone of Alicia's dead body. After the murder, Spaceghost pulled up to his house and took photos in his phone. Damon would be going around showing people the pics. This would later lead to Damon being picked up by the police and later Spaceghost being arrested. In his interrogation, Spaceghost would tell the police that him and Alicia would fight about her new man. Spaceghost would also say Alicia was crazy in the past and tried to stab him, and even run him over with cars. But on an argument on September 26, Spaceghost would say she tried to stab him and he took the knife away. But he would also say he lost control and ended up taking her life. Spaceghost would defend himself in court, but this wouldn't go the way he wanted. He would end up receiving 26 years to life. Spaceghost is now 59 years old and has been in prison since 2014. His earliest parole date is in 2030. Even though Spaceghost did what he did, many people still talk about him highly, and he's still talked about as a street legend. This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, make sure you check out my previous episodes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.